building a great product is complete BS. And I know why, because I built a company that made over $60 million over the last few years. I spent so much money and time on building features that in the end, no one cared about. And then I changed one simple thing. Instead of building for users, I started building for buyers. And that simple shift took us from 0 to $60 million in revenue without being product-led for a single day. So in this video, I will show you why product-led is not working and what the fastest growing companies do to scale profitably. Let's go. Let's find a whiteboard. Also, 9-figure award, 8-figure award, Inc. 5000 award. Look at this. Inc. fucking 5000 award. You see that? Awesome. So let's get a pen. Guys, I'm over here. You have 3 motions to build a working business. One is called product-led. With product-led, you build a product that is so good that people are buying it. With software, it's super common to be on a 30-day free trial, and then you go into a $10, $20, $30 subscription. If you use it a lot, then you expand to $50, $100, $200. In B2B, you also sell seats here, but that actually is not product-led usually. That is the second one, which is called sales-led. Sales-led. So with sales-led, you have a sales team. The sales team identifies the target buyer, and then in the end, with a sales process, closes this person and then sells seats. Let's say Salesforce, right? You would sell 100 licenses for the sales team of your company to use Salesforce. Salesforce also has a product-led motion where you can just sign up for it for $50 likely, but the majority of money they make with a sales-led motion, okay? Here's the issue. If you are an SMB founder, if you have a company, young company, you want to scale profitably, doing any of these is super expensive because here you have to hire developers with product-led. How do you pay the developers? You have to raise funds from VCs, from investors, or from family friends. In order to get that, that's super hard. And then you're building that product because there is the expectation with the funds to build that product. And then you hope that users will like it. So this requires dollars out before you make any money. You're like 2-3 years in and you have investments that you have to pay back at some point. This is just, it's a dead end. That's why I'm saying product-led, very difficult. Then you have sales-led. You of course can do sales by yourself in the beginning, but most founders or most business owners hate sales. You have to be good in sales in order to master this. So this is, I think, a really smart way. If you are strong in sales or you get strong in sales, because then, you know, there's only your salary. And then at some point, if it's working, you can then again raise funds to delegate your sales process to a sales team that you hire. Again, you're raising funds to scale your sales team, or it's super slow. Okay, these are the 2 motions that 90%, likely 98% of companies out there are doing. That's why you have VCs, venture capitalists, investors, PEs, and all of that, because you need a ton of money. There's a whole industry because people operate with product-led and sales-led. Now, there's a third one. The third one is called marketing-led. Let me show you. Marketing-led. So how does marketing-led differ to sales-led and product-led? Here, obviously, the product is not doing the sales process, and the sales team is not doing the sales process, but the marketing is doing the sales process. What does that mean? In the era of social media, and right now everyone is on social media, we have 5 billion social media users, including anyone in the B2B space as well. For that reason, I call it business media. I don't call it social media anymore. All your customers are there. They're scrolling through their feeds every single day. So you want to attract them. How do you do that? With 5 pillars. If you have watched my content before, you know what these 5 are. You want to have brand faces, content engines or infinite content, profitable funnel, irresistible offer, and then AI automations that you don't have to hire. With that, you attract eyeballs on social media that then convert into profit. You create a message that fits to your channel, for example, Instagram or YouTube or LinkedIn, that leads to profitable sales. Okay, so here it's also you doing that. So that's comparable to sales-led. Once you have a profitable funnel, you can just invest more money and it can scale by itself. So a profitable funnel, what do I mean by that? You put $1 in and you get more than $1 back on the first transaction. So if I invest today $100 and I get immediately $120 back, how often would you do it? All the time, right? If I invest 1,000, scale it up, I get 1,200 back. I'm doing it over and over again. And if you do it smartly, you can add a continuity offer, the subscription on the back of your offer, the one that makes you the money right away, so that you also get recurring revenue month over month over month over month. So once you have that profitable funnel, you just put in more money by clicking a button. You don't have to hire a sales team. You don't have to invest in developers. You're just scaling up. At some point, you maybe get a media buyer or you get a creative strategist. That doesn't matter, but it's compared to these 2 motions, you need tiny money. You see that? how small it is, tiny money. And then what you make, and that's a big difference, you make way more. So let me show you a chart to show you that even more. And fuck, I have to go to the hairdresser in 4 minutes. I have to cut this short. We do another video on this where I go into more detail on how the actual dynamics are. But the point is, here you have to wait for years until you get the payback. Here you have to prove it, and then you can invest in the team. You have to show that it's scalable. This can be done in a quarter, 2 quarters, maybe up to maybe 9 months as well, less than a year. This year can be built in 90 days. And if it's profitable, you can scale it with the click of a button. And here's like one last thing before I gotta go. Marketing-led supercharges your sales-led and your product-led motion. Let me explain. If you have a working funnel here with users, customers coming in that are hyped up about your product, then you take that money that you make here, you take that money and you can reinvest it in the product. So with that, you don't have to get funds from venture capitalists or investors because your customers are financing your product development. That is so much better. See, that's my timer that I have to go to the hairdresser. That is so much better anyways, because you're building a product that is catered to the users, to the customers, not what you set or pitch to investors. And then also, if you do marketing-led well and people consume your content and they know what your product is about because your content talks about your offer, that means you pre-sell them hard here. And so when they show up in your sales call, usually further up in the funnel where they already purchased something and you qualify them, you realize, hey, there's more funds there. There's a really interesting customer with lots of potential. You then go with a sales team after this person. You can have sales close rate of up to 80%, 80. Why? Because they know your product. They're hyped up about it. They know what even the premium offer often is. And they show up with their credit card in hand to buy your high ticket upsell right away. Yeah. So this here is, if you're good, 30%. If you put a marketing-led motion in front, you can get it up to 80%. And that, of course, then allows you to raise prices, right? And here, the big benefit is, like I said, no investors. You just finance it from the users. So marketing-led allows you to scale profitably and supercharge your current GTM, which is go-to-market. I gotta go to the hairdresser. See you in the next video. If you want more information on this, I will put a resource in it that explains what these 3 are. Just check it out. And also watch this video here, which double clicks on that in more detail.